I just like the idea of things that have like no reproductive capability, you know, being referred to in such a way.
That's a great way to start. CrunchCast episode 15. Thank you, John and Brown, for your lovely conversation. Yeah, we're back. It's Monday night. We're having a good time. We just thought we'd throw one out. We're trying to step up the episodage, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. It all depends on what happens. Yeah, we're back. What's going on with you guys? John, I'll let you throw out your job opening thing real quick. I don't know how soon you want people, or if it even matters.
Well, the whole thing is going to end by just this Wednesday, and it's already past midnight on Monday.
Yeah.
So I have an art test thing that I'm doing just for some speculative stuff. Cartoon art style, environment art. Just really small thing. Take maybe like hour and a half tops. Should be some more stuff coming up. Just looking for people with good cartoony, good painterly style, strong texture painting skills, last gen type specs, like 300-400 polys, 256 texture, just super basic stuff. But if you're an environment artist, hit me up on my Twitter or at johnjones@gmail.com. Again, the whole thing needs to be absolutely done by end of day, Wednesday, October 5th. So if you're hearing that too late, then sorry. But thanks for the plug, Chris.
Is that by Mountain Time or by Texas time?
That's by John time. I determine what the day is. I work in every time zone.
Awesome.
Wow.
So
Hear that,
cool.
kids?
I'm a fancy international man.
I'm so jealous.
This is the transcendent man. There is no time for him. Time's not relevant anymore. He works all around the world. So
Indeed, I do.
this whole concept of this Earth just spinning around the sun doesn't even matter.
I've found a way to overcome that. I actually, my home base, my home office, if you will, is a satellite in orbit. Very, very small
Satellite in orbit. An evil layer. How about you, Brian? Anything action going on with you, bro?
No, we went to Blackhawk a little bit ago for
the casino thing.
Yep.
I didn't go because I hurt my foot.
Oh yeah, we can get into that later. I mean, after this, we can touch on that. But basically, Blackhawk
touch his foot.
Blackhawk is like the Las Vegas of Colorado, basically.
I guess
all
the
really
pictures.
Small.
The pictures you guys took, it looked like a rock quarry.
Yeah, it's
with some old timey buildings in it.
It's like people back then were just walking and they're like, "Fuck this mountain, we're just gonna put a casino here."
Yeah,
so they just
pretty much
did that pretty much. But our president Chuck Broomgart, he was on episode 3 or 4, I believe.
4.
He took our whole studio up to Blackhawk, and we went gambling, and I could not get tipsy. I drank so much alcohol and I could not get tipsy. I don't know if it was because
ridiculous.
I don't know if it was because we had that buffet. Like
like a full stomach, and you're all man to begin with.
Oh yeah, that too. So we got to take that into account. I should have taken that into account first.
First thing first. I'm all man, so
you silly bastard.
It's gonna be hard to get drunk.
No, but you're wearing that on your shirt. First things first. I'm a man.
That's good. I want to do some t-shirt design. But yeah, that was pretty fun. Chuck ended up winning I think $600, something like that. So he's thinking about getting a big fridge for the office.
Buy a fridge. Yeah.
Sweet.
We have a bunch of tiny fridges, and you put one thing in there and it's full. They're like,
yeah.
Well.
I'm hoping we get a fridge big enough to put a mini fridge in.
Like a fridge, you could hide a body in there as a joke. One of these nights, one of these guys crawls in there all drunk and then dies.
That'd be hilarious.
It's gonna happen.
That'd be the way to go.
In a fridge. That's the best way to go. It's better than dying in a space shuttle explosion.
That's a pretty shitty way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. I remember growing up. There were so many PSAs about that as a kid.
Don't die in a
not climbing in the fridge.
Yeah, getting stuck in a fridge and dying.
Really?
Like it was a huge PSA growing up.
I figured it'd be more.
And that means public service announcements,
like crawling in dryers.
Yeah, there was that too. But dryers don't really have like a seal. Whereas a refrigerator, you get in there, and it's like boom, and some of them have that lock on the outside. The old school ones were all like the old school ones had that big handle on the front that was like open.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because when they shut, they locked.
Yep.
Indiana Jones. Gee, oh
His ass got saved in one of those.
Instantly
but you were saying
ruined
that
the movie.
before, but the PSAs when you were a kid, I thought you were saying their PSAs telling kids not to die in space shuttle explosions. I'm like, that's weirdly specific.
Weirdly. Now, they were duck and cover for the nuclear holocaust.
Dude, if someone crawled in my fridge and died, I don't think I'd waste that meat, to be honest. But,
well,
gross.
Well, it depends on body fat content, I think.
Yeah. All right. Touching on cannibalism, but
hey, you guys remember video games?
Yeah.
There's it's time for video game news.
Yeah.
Yay.
You didn't want to talk about your foot at all?
Nah, it's fine. We'll get to my foot.
Yeah.
I was gonna just throw it out because I saw Rage tonight.
Oh, how was it?
Kedron was playing Rage. It looks pretty cool. It doesn't work with his so well with his card or something with his build, so everything was kind of flickering and the textures were constantly streaming. But
well, dude, I spent like exactly 2-3 minutes reading about that on forums. A lot of people are having that exact issue. Like, it's very widespread, apparently.
well, besides that, it looked really nice. Everything was like, oh wow, all this is unique looking.
That's pretty. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
Looks
I saw
really
it was on the cover of Game Informer not too long ago, and it was pretty sweet. I think I could be wrong.
Right. Just from the whole start area he was in, you were pretty much in a bathtub, where it's just mountains all around. I was kind of expecting, they're going to go right into a vista, but it just never really happened. Probably happens later in the game, but it was the whole start of the game was a bathtub, so.
I love it when games start in bathtubs.
Yeah. Just totally surrounded by mountains and no big overlook, nothing.
Yeah.
All that stuff you expect from when someone says, here's our new engine that's amazing. Like at the beginning of Fallout, I mean, they weren't even showing off their engine for graphics as far as I know, but as soon as you come out of that vault, you see forever. Anyway, That's just... otherwise, the game looks cool. I'll probably buy it when it lowers in price. That's how I am. Cheap.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious about it. I mean, for God's sake, it's another id game. It's the first one in like 18 years.
Yeah.
I own every id game. It's not like I'm not going to get this one.
Right. That would be very weird of you.
That's so strange. So yeah,
you're so weird, Chris. You and your dumb foot.
Your dumb foot. You want to talk about? Let me see if I can get it on camera.
Oh man.
How's the swelling? You tell me. It might have gone down today. It's been feeling good.
I'm not even giving you your video feed.
It's uglier, I think.
The swelling looks like it went down.
Yeah, the swelling. The swelling
is
way down, but anyway, it looks like.
I'm so glad I don't have video.
It's got this gray, or it's got a big bruise on the side right now. It's gross and kind of swollen, but I was walking on it fine at the end of the day today.
It's gonna hurt like hell in the morning.
That's what I'm thinking. That's how it was yesterday morning or this morning. But I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so.
We pretty much earned it, and I've been telling you for a long time, bum fights don't work that way. They both have to be bums.
Yeah. This dude, we were fighting over a steak, and he got me in a heel hook. That's what happened.
Oh, those hungry hobos.
Oh, yeah, dude. And I was fine. I didn't even need the food. No,
I wasn't even hungry.
I fell off a bike.
Right on top of a building afterward.
Oh, you just throw it away. Man, I could have eat that. You can still eat it. It's up there, bro.
But yeah, I wasn't there to witness the actual falling off of the bicycle. But
we were just being silly, and I just fell off a bike. It literally just was going forward and just straight sideways, and apparently my ankle landed in a weird way. So there you have it.
Do you use clips?
This wasn't my bike. It was somebody else's bike.
What did you ask, John? Did you
use something for the
pedal
feet?
Clips.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Anyway, it's a silly thing.
I have custom shoes for it, and it's kind of hard to get into and out of sometimes. And it's really easy. Just have both your feet locked the hell in and fall over and just wreck your legs or ankles.
Oh yeah, that's probably what happened.
That sounds very scary.
Anyway, so yeah, is Rage really the only thing in game news right now for us? Let me go to a website.
Bethesda suing Notch, the Minecraft guy, over
the Scrolls thing. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Really?
So he's making a new game called Scrolls, and Bethesda decided to sue him over it. And apparently, it just came out, I think, yesterday or today on Kotaku and on Notch's blog, saying I believe he offered to give up, to change the name of the game and give up the trademark, but they decided to sue him anyway. For God knows why.
It's unfortunate.
Because he has money.
Oh,
dude made a buttload of money off of Minecraft. Yeah. I mean, I heard like in the 30-40 million range.
Dude, I totally earned my $14.
$14.
Yeah, how much it cost, right? Like it was like $14.99 or something like that.
It was like $20 when I bought it.
Oh, because I bought it earlier.
I spent $40 because I got
you got two accounts too. So pro.
Why do you have two accounts?
It's funny, you can build these monster grinders in Minecraft, and basically what happens in a monster grinder is when monsters die, they spawn these rare items, and at the end of a monster grinder, all these items just gather to this one spot. So I'll have one account where my character is just standing there collecting all of this material, and then I have this other account where I can go up and get his...
It all makes sense. It's just like the old days of having a mule.
Oh,
but
no,
this
absolutely.
Is just like
you
spend
extra $20 just to do that.
I don't think of it as a waste. Plus...
He's got an extra account. If any one of his buddies wants to be, hey, let's just play this game.
Hell yeah.
His buddy can roll with him.
Yeah, my buddy Brian the Builder and
Brian the Bodybuilder.
Brian the Bodybuilder. What is my other player's name?
I don't know.
Brian the Builder and Brian the Beast. Brian the Beast. Yeah. I don't know. Eventually I'm going to get Brian the Badass and...
You gotta get Brian the Bodybuilder.
All the other awesome adjectives.
Let's just start buying up Minecraft accounts right now with fun names.
Oh, I wonder if we could do that and sell them in the future. Like you can, website.
Oh, there's a sweet
domain names and stuff.
CrunchCast listeners, register these names now, then sell them to Brian.
Yeah, no kidding. Crap.
It's Brian with a Y.
Oh yeah, none of that I stuff. None of that I stuff.
That's bullshit.
Someone spelled my name Brain the other day.
Brain.
And that's the reason why my mom didn't put an I in there. So, but anyways.
In other video game news, DLC, downloadable content for Portal 2 this week. It's new maps, it's new co-op maps, it's new leaderboards. That should be fun, because everybody likes Portal. If you don't like Portal, what the fuck?
I know, dude.
Did you must have been molested. Anyway, what? New season of South Park. New season of South Park starts this week, too.
I also heard a rumor that season 4 of Arrested Development is coming out, and it's going to lead up to a movie.
Yep.
Yes. Oh my God. I did a dance of joy when I heard that.
Really, dude?
It was like all the Occupy Wall Street right now. When they heard that, they were like, "We did it."
That's all they really wanted.
That was good.
It's actually it's a very clever piece of viral marketing. It's really the Save Our Bluths under a different name.
Dude, I really hope that it has to be good. They've had a couple years to think of good ideas for episodes now, and the first 3 seasons were amazing. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and the way it ended was perfect. And then now they're bringing it back, and I'm pretty pumped. I actually freaked out.
I got the entire original cast, including Michael Cera, who I've heard is a complete fucking cockbag. Apparently, he was the last holdout when they're trying to get the cast together for the movie, just because he's gotten all rich and wanted way more money, and they had to fight with him for a really long time. And, really? Come on, George Michael, you're the avatar of male impotence. I mean, for God's sake.
Really, that sucks.
Yeah, but they finally got him, I guess. I don't know.
No, I mean, it sucks because
horrible nude pictures.
Michael Cera was kind of my hero after Scott Pilgrim, so
that movie was amazing. I loved him in that. Don't get me wrong, I like him the stuff he's been in.
Oh yeah,
He's just based on how I've heard he was from the negotiations, just through rumors. It's really sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
But she made him.
Yeah, it's like Lance Armstrong.
What?
Yeah, you lose the ball and you just turn into a bastard.
Apparently, he's a really, really bad reputation, I guess.
Really? Huh?
Oh, everyone in Austin hates him.
What happened with the? Why do people in Austin hate him? Sorry.
He's just apparently just not a really nice guy. He's a bad tipper, but even though he's rich, and I don't know.
He's just
it's one of those hearsay things you hear about people.
Isn't he getting in trouble with steroids now? they're calling him out.
Oh yeah, everybody's like, "You're on the juice, bitch." Everybody on bikes is on the juice.
Yeah.
Everybody in every sport's on the juice. Forget about it.
By juice, he means Gatorade.
Yes. No, it's that new fucking X plus whatever that thing was. That you get a bag of Doritos.
Oh yeah.
U-Force or
yeah, some Force.
No one knows why those are banned from competitive sports, but
PEDs, bro.
Shit.
Yeah, Lance Armstrong, just anecdotally speaking, I've met probably a dozen people in Austin that have met him or been around him, and he's supposed to be just like the king of assholes.
It's so weird.
I just always really, really rude. I don't know. It's unfortunate.
Oh well.
I'd like to.
My
say
game
that.
dev beer night party is taking over his bar next week.
Slam. Da da da.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say da da dunk.
Oh yeah.
Slam da da
da
dunk.
da da.
Sorry.
Da. Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry.
Taking over his.
Oh no, it's not.
Cool story, bro. Hey, you kind of want to get into it because we've got a few questions this week.
Yes.
From
let's answer these questions.
The internet comes a question from people.
From people.
Oh, buddy.
What are those spam bots?
Yeah, these guys are really good at writing questions that are paragraphs long.
Pace me some.
Just read the paragraph. You can't just read the paragraph.
Yeah, I can. I was just gonna say it's think about it. If you can get it in 140 characters, it's gonna be a lot easier to translate from. You have all the extra stuff where people are kind of filling it in with what they're trying to say to explain their particular position that's not necessarily relevant to the question's answer for everyone.
Quit that. Sorry.
Are your children fighting again?
I thought he was yelling at me.
Yeah, he was yelling at Brian. Brian was rubbing his mouth.
My cats are clawing my couch. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a nice
So yeah,
couch.
check this out. So this first guy, he says, "Check this out, you MFers. I will kill you all if you don't answer this question." No, I'm just adding excitement.
That's my question.
Yeah, I'm just adding a little bit of entertainment.
I like this guy already.
Adding a little entertainment.
Oh, dude, hold on. You've got your email up on.
Look at John. He's my email. I can just show the email. So yeah, he's basically saying he's teaching English in South Korea, and he's been spending his time working on his portfolio. And he's wondering when's the best time to start applying for companies. Once the contract ends, or should he wait till he gets back to America, or like when would be the best time for him to start applying? And of course he's in a weird situation where he has this thing coming up, but he can also apply for anyone in whatever situation you're in. When would be the right time? Well, you're going to start applying, right before graduation. Maybe you should wait and get that diploma, or not. If it's like totally Blizzard or something.
Yeah.
Depends on whether the company's going to relocate him, but the fastest hiring I've ever seen was maybe from initial contact to actually starting on site was like 45 days. I think conservatively, like a 60 days minimum from first interview to starting.
Quick, yeah.
It's fast.
I've had some transitions that are right there at 2 months. So yeah, that's fast, man. 45 days.
Wow.
And I've seen guys who just are ready to jump on some stuff quick too.
Yeah.
There's always different situations for different people. If you have the record for first contact to job relocation, let us know.
Yeah.
And internationally, visa issues, it can take anywhere from like 3 to 4 months from accepting the offer to actually getting approval from the visa, especially coming into the U.S., which I hear is a real bitch lately.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think this guy is an American, but he's just teaching abroad.
Okay.
Teaching abroad.
Okay, well, in that case, that should be easier. Although this past week, actually, I heard that relocating to the UK in particular is incredibly difficult because they are no longer granting nearly as many visas. Like even for like enormous like multinational companies with tens of thousands of people, they're only giving like 5 work visas per year to be able to hire people from outside the country because they're trying to get hired more domestically. But check out the visa situation of whatever country you're looking to relocate to is something to look at.
Word up. You think there's ever been a situation like Monday Night Wars, like the WWF, and NWO and WCW where there was a group of guys and they'd jump from one company and then back to the other company or whatever.
Just like the same group of badasses.
Before there was any, you know how you when you ever do a game job, they have like a no compete clauses that are in there.
Oh yeah, those are nasty.
Like before they needed them, when they were like warring back and forth. Like when was that happening? Did that ever happen?
Well, the closest thing I heard to that, well, I've only heard of a one-way defection, but with one small exception within that. Like after World of Warcraft shipped, a bunch of lead dudes moved over to I think it was Red 5. I believe I can't remember the name of the game that they announced a few months ago, but like a lot of the same developers left Blizzard to go over to Red 5, enough so that Blizzard actually filed a lawsuit against them. I mean, just because, holy shit, they took that many of their same people, and it was in court for a little while, more people are defecting. Then all of a sudden, the entire thing imploded when one guy went from Red 5. One guy went from Red 5 back to Blizzard, and the entire lawsuit utterly collapsed. I think it would have been a lot cooler if a large group of them had gone back, not for Red 5, obviously. I think it would be a much more epic, interesting kind of walkout type situation. But I guess that doesn't have a whole hell of a lot to do with what you're asking, did it?
It's fun. Yeah, it's
the first thing that came to mind.
Well, my topic's a bit of a digression from the original question anyway, so...
You always digress, you son of a bitch.
Is there... I mean, I can understand the 45-day to, 2-month waiting period, but, what are the main reasons for that? Is it just because, I mean, the game is probably still in pre-production?
Let's talk about the whole process here.
Yeah.
Okay. You apply, or someone internally tells their lead, hey, you should hire this guy, her.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, all right. And then they have to, either you apply, either way, if you applied or somebody gave them, they still have you in a list of people. And so they have to go about going, okay, yeah, he's cool. And then they have to contact you. And that first contact is, hey, would you be interested in this? Let's set up a phone interview, right?
Okay.
So then they do the phone interview. They call you up and they're like, hey, what's up? You're not too much of an asshole, are you? You're like, nah, I'm cool. All right. Well, we'll fly you out. And we'll come out here and we'll see him. We'll see what's up. And so you come up and you meet the whole team and you're like, hey, how's it going? Oh, yeah, this guy doesn't seem like too much of a prick. I could probably drink a beer with this guy. So let's move forward with him. And then they kind of grill you. Depends on where you go, how much they grill you.
Yeah.
On some things. And
do they usually interview a couple different, a lot of different people?
What, at the same time?
Well, no, not at the same time. But let's say there's 4 different people that they think would be awesome for the job.
Sometimes
would they ever,
they'll tell you, we're also talking to X amount of X other candidates,
okay.
And they're doing it like Monday is this guy, Tuesday is this guy, and so on.
I see.
Maybe, I don't know. It's like I said, that's one of those things that totally depends on the studio. Some studios are like, all right, it's your interview and it's this 8-hour process. And some are you just come rolling in hey, you're out. All right. Back on your plane.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of interviews, but all of those interviews were mainly for internships and stuff. So I've never
at gas stations and
internships at gas stations and whatnot.
You clean the pumps.
So yeah, I mean, we kind of skipped a step there. A lot of times, if right before he'll even talk to you, he'll say, "Hey, would you be interested in an art test?"
Mm-hmm.
If it's a certain type of art position, that would happen at the start. But anyway, yeah, after you've flown out there, if you've at least flown out there, then they probably consider you good enough, unless you're a total fraud, based on your body of work. And so it's the in studio.
And body of odor.
Body of odor. Yeah. Hey, that's gotten people fired before. Take a shower.
Yeah.
Really. Brush your teeth. Anyway, so yeah, after the in-house interview is very much like a personality test to make sure that you're okay with what's going to happen. And
it's a freak test.
To make sure you're not a robot.
Yeah.
Or a troll.
A troll. No, whatever, but it's just making sure you're going to fit in with the team and the company culture, that kind of thing, because things are in place, and if they have a process, and whatever that process is. You just gotta get through it, and then after that, you'll hear from either. Go ahead.
Part of that process is laughing at people that wear ties to interviews with the game company.
That can be fun. Dude, I've really dressed down for some game jobs. You just showed up in like torn jeans and a t-shirt. It's like, what?
I kind of want to wear like a tight t-shirt, but put a tie on, like just around my neck. Like, I don't know.
And roll in like, what?
I have like this really nice pink tie, and I think it'd go awesome with like this really like bright blue shirt of some sort. I really think that would look well.
Nice.
I mean, I'm no fashion.
That's a winner.
It's
What
kind
did
of
you say
like
about nipples?
Cut out nipple holes, and that's a winner.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say that sounds like something you'd see on that. Remember that show, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy from way back?
Oh yeah.
That one dude with the blonde hair that was always he would be rocking that.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Carson.
Anyway, so yeah, you did your in-house interview. After that, you fly out of there or whatever, and then you wait. If you don't hear anything, it's like, oh well.
During that waiting time, you should go do more
push-ups.
Push-ups, yeah.
No, a lot of times when you are doing that, it's often common that people are honest about that too. They're like, "Yeah, I'm just interviewing with all these companies right now, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
Just be careful about doing that though, because it may seem like you're gonna
I was gonna actually ask you.
Each other.
Don't sound like a dick about it, or like you're competing them. Yeah, like
I was gonna ask you if that was actually a good idea or not.
Which one of you is gonna give me my money? Yeah, you don't want to really be like that. It's kind of
It is a very fine line, but I mean, granted, I think the only way to really be successful in the industry and have reasonable expectations is to have a completely mercenary attitude. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your chips on just one company. Just hoard around, go around, interview different companies. There's no obligation to hire. They have no obligation to hire you, and really, it's like a series of paid field trips. You get to meet other developers, see what they're doing, tour their studios. It's like free paid field trips. It's freaking awesome.
That is one of the coolest things is when you're on the job hunt and you fly around to a few places. You're like, oh, it didn't work out. I got to go to these places. I mean, that has its ups and downs, but there's always so much positive things that you can take back from visiting a studio and really like meeting some guys or getting to know them or running into people you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Running to thine enemies.
Yeah, exactly. And just seeing, like, oh god, I heard one story about someone you and I both know, Chris, interviewing in a company where the artists were openly fighting with each other and talking about how much that place sucked, and telling stories about how one artist did something that was on his task list that another artist didn't like, so he went into Perforce, he deleted the file, and deleted all backups, all copies, did everything he could to wipe the existence of that file, that asset out completely.
This story happened to me. He's telling secretly. Us my story.
Wait, that happened to you?
I'm just...
Okay.
It's definitely happened to me, but go ahead.
But they told him that on the interview, and they were telling him not to take a job there. So you can learn a lot of really interesting things.
Dude, I have been on job interviews before where you're in the whole process and like there's a guy in the room just sitting there, just like sitting in the corner, just like, oh god, I don't want to be here in this interview. And by that I mean he's the guy who's supposed to be interviewing you. Yeah. And like the developers are all like, when you get that moment where you like go out to lunch and hang out with some of the boys, they're all just like, oh dude, it's this, that, and the other, and you're like, oh man, oh jeez, are these guys just trying to be dicks or what's up here?
Yeah, interviews go both ways. Have questions. Have a list of prepared questions for the developer. Do your research.
And check this out.
You're questioning them just as much as they are you.
Yeah. If you're applying for a job, right, and there's a job opening, and one of these guys is trying to get his buddy in, and he sees you as the guy who would take his position, and he's like, oh yeah, he comes up to you and he goes, oh yeah, it sucks here, you don't want to work here, but really he's sandbagging you and telling you, like trying to get you out of it so his buddy can get in.
I had not thought of that.
There's a whole episode of The Office about that. That's why I thought about it. Anyway.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's one of those newer ones. I saw it on Hulu.
Oh yeah, I've only gotten up to season 6.
Usually I just watch Louie on there, but...
But the one thing I wanted to expand upon a bit is why the interview process takes so long. Because unless you're going in directly through somebody you know at the company, most resumes go through HR. HR is always incredibly backlogged, and I feel like they try their best, but I've rarely worked with very good HR departments.
Look, I don't want to be a dick, but I apparently didn't get a job at one point due to HR incompetence, and that's what I was told.
Oh, I've had that happen too.
Because I got mixed up with somebody else.
Oh God, I remember that.
It was like I had 12 years of experience at the time, and the response was that I didn't have enough experience. And I said, well, I accept not getting the job there. That's fine if they didn't want me. That's cool. But when they said that, I was like, wait a minute. Something's amiss.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turned out down the road
ridiculous.
This person had like mixed up a bunch of people and had to be fired for whatever reason. Anyway,
incompetence.
Yes,
that definitely happens. But I'll say HR isn't always incompetent or malevolent, but they are busy, and they're the ones who have to go through resumes.
Got to deal with all these assholes
and portfolios.
No one likes you. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Yes. We don't have any HR at our office.
Here is my ultimate empathy for HR. These poor people have to deal with game developers.
Yeah.
Who are like most like there's a lot of good guys in game development that are awesome. There's so many that are just like antisocial super nerds, like me and John. Brian,
yeah, I'm so antisocial.
Working on it.
We're all so antisocial.
Yeah, we're like, don't touch me, get away. Here's my wallet, please. No,
deep down, we're all Milhouse.
These poor people have to deal with some of the strangest fucks. So I could understand. I could understand some sort of whatever mixed feelings you want to get. But you know, I've had good HR before, but I've also known people that were in HR that were just monsters. And it was like, what? Why? What is it? Wait.
Due to having to deal with all those freaks, it seems like the kind of job that can really make you learn to hate people.
Sounds like you need like a psychology major or something.
Yeah, if you're like this person who's like, what do you do? He's like, I'm a dog breeder. How's it? Oh, you must love dogs. No, I hate dogs.
I only make really fucked up breeds.
Yeah, it's like
it's like a grave digging terrier.
Yeah, so they just
or a prosthetics retriever.
So maybe they're just kind of letting you know that they're just like fucking with people. Is that what's going on? Because that's what I've seen with HR that don't seem to like people. They're like, what's this bitch fucking with me? She's not fucking with me. She just doesn't show up for work. And you have to turn in these papers because it's a big corporation company. Yeah. Anyway.
And it can get stupid. But HR is always busy with internal and external stuff. So it may take anywhere from 1 week to 2 months for HR to even look at your resume, even if there's an open job. So let's say they go through all the resumes, they look at the resume, and honestly, a lot of game developer resumes are really, really bad.
It's true. I think you sent me one earlier that was like, say what?
That's kind of strange to me. I figured before they even looked at a resume, they'd look at some sort of art. I mean, not human resources, but someone at the company. I just assumed that would be. No,
it's almost always HR unless you're going through unless you're going through a friend.
That is
maybe
so
HR will HR add like.
I mean, it makes sense.
Tremendous amount of insight, but I don't have the most insight into HR, but like. What makes sense in my mind is for HR to go through, skim a bunch of resumes, find people that seem to match these bullet points, put 5 people together, get their websites, and send them to an art director and art lead and say, hey, what do you think of these guys? Who should we talk to?
Okay.
And art directors are busy. Art directors are working their asses, and art leads are working their asses off, doing production stuff day to day. And art directors are generally the people I work with the most closely, and they tend to be the busiest at any given company. So they're not going to be able to drop everything they're doing and go through X number of portfolios in a day.
Yeah. No,
so let's say there's like a 1 to 4 week lag between you submitting and HR looking at what you do. Let's say there's anywhere from 1 to 4 week lag of the art director actually looking at it. Then maybe another week or two before HR will act on what the art director says and schedule a phone interview. Finding a free day for them may take a few days. Then everybody does a phone interview. Everybody does like a sit down afterward, maybe the next day, decide what to do. Then HR files some paperwork, does this, does that, requisitions funds to be able to arrange and fly you out for an interview. And it's not like you can drop everything you're going to do in a day or two to be able to flat for an interview. Usually it's, in my experience, I think I want to say like 4 days is the fastest I've ever gone from phone interview to fly me out. It could take, I'd say maybe like a week and a half max for flying out for an interview.
Ooh, I flew out on 3 days. They called me.
Oh, nice.
Day of rest, flew out. That happened to me one time. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's not too bad.
I beat you, John. I beat you.
Suck on that. Why don't you go back to hell with the rest of the swine?
Speaking of that, I gotta pee. I'll be back.
Cool story, bro.
Speaking of swine,
let us know how it comes
train
out.
the hog, Brian.
See,
but
yeah, man. It's just me and you, bro. Let's get back to reality.
But so from that point, okay, so you flat for the interview, and you do the whole interview. Usually, like maybe a day. If it's a more senior position, maybe 2. Then you fly back home. It's going to be a couple days for people to talk, kind of figure out what's what, because deciding to hire you is going to be another big decision. It's like that's the biggest decision, whether or not to hire you and requisitioning the funds from the parent company or from finance. Whatever.
It's a huge responsibility to say this is the guy.
Yeah, and
especially if you don't know these people.
Exactly. Generally speaking, just in addition to a salary, let's say you're making $50,000 a year, overhead is going to be 50 to 100% of what your salary is. That's a cost of equipment. That's a cost of the rent of the building. That's a cost of all the software you're going to be using. That's a cost of like the food in the fridge. That amount of overhead is spread over all the employees of the company. So even though you're making $50,000, they're actually spending $75,000 to $100,000 just on you. Oh, and that includes health benefits, health insurance, all that stuff. It's all lumped into that cost.
Yeah. People don't even think about that.
Oh, exactly. Most people, it's invisible to most people. And then there's a cost of relocation, which can be comped. Sometimes it's fronted. They can be anywhere from $2,500 to $15,000. And this is, and you have to buy equipment.
That's
you have
hardcore. $15K for reloading or relocation is pretty hardcore. That's like a mansion of shit.
I've heard 30 to 40K before for senior people.
Damn.
Well,
I moved all my shit out for like I moved all my furniture and my car got shipped from East Coast to Denver, Colorado. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, in total, all that stuff, it was about 4 or 5K.
It's pretty reasonable. It just depends on who you go with and how you do it.
Yeah.
But
I didn't have a lot of shit. I just had like my car and like a computer. No, there's a little more than that, but
I moved like a 2-bedroom apartment halfway across the country.
Was this before Craigslist?
Plus,
sorry.
No, I just get the fancy shit that don't break your stuff.
It's like I moved. Actually, I think it's like a bedroom and a half. Not a whole lot of stuff, but also including like a lease break fee and some other stuff from California to Texas for I think like $6,500. But
yeah,
a big
with
family,
a lease break,
relocating a long way. But at the executive level, I know of one person that got a $500,000 relocation.
Oh yeah, that's when you said executive level. Yeah, that's totally different.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, just generally speaking, you'll go like $2,500 to $10,000.
People ruining America.
Exactly, bastards.
Going down
like
Wall
they
Street
are,
right
they
now.
are, they are the 1%.
Marching.
But yeah, basically, when they make the hire no hire decision, that's when all the real paperwork comes into play, and it goes back to HR. They have to requisition the money, they have to do all the planning, they have to find out where they're going to sit, who they're going to work with, who their lead's going to be, do they fit here? That can be, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks just to get a hire decision from there. And all told, it could take anywhere from 2 to 4 months. I've heard up to 8 months. Granted, that was overseas, but still, a very long time for overseas. It can take a really long ass time to get hired from your initial contact with a company. So start early. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to be flown out for an interview the next day. It will take a really, really long time. It's going to take probably twice as long as you think, even at your most pessimistic.
I'm really depressed.
Start now.
I'm really depressed right now.
Oh,
It's making me
shucks.
depressed.
That shouldn't be. It's just the whole concept.
Yeah.
He's talking about he was ending on the extreme there.
Yeah.
It can go faster. I think the fastest I've ever personally been hired may have. I think it was like between 45 and 60 days, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like I got in a place,
and that was lucky.
I feel like I got into one place into like right at a month. I feel like that happened one time. But then sometimes things can go in a different rate, like especially if you go to a smaller company, and they don't really, and they can't really afford like anything major. But you can be like, I can be there. Like, I can be there. I can be there next week. No big deal. Because if you have that nomadic lifestyle, you have your little shitty apartment where you have as your computer in your bed. You're like, yeah, no big deal. I'll be right out there.
Actually, if you're talking about it that way, I relocated myself in 3 days once.
Yeah, man.
Just to be there to work at Liquid Development.
I've done some stuff like that way back in the days, man.
Yeah, finished up a 4-week contract working with them on site, and I said I asked them if they would hire me if they relocate me, and they're like, well, I mean, you can keep contracting, blah, blah, whatever. So I told them, look, if I show up here for work on Monday, will you let me work here? They're like, all right, sure, whatever. So I flew home, packed up all my shit, and I was there starting within 3 days. Wow. And then they, after a couple weeks, they hired me on salary, and I was there for just about another year after that. But that's like absolute crazy best case when out of my own pocket. But if you really push for shit, you can make it happen. Not necessarily you're having to go out of pocket, but if you can be smart about it and really motivate and really push for it, you can make shit happen. And following up with people is really important. Yeah. If you go longer, generally speaking, if you're applying for a job, if you go, let's say specifically like, call back next month, call back 2 months from now, whatever. And let's say specifically say that, if you don't hear from them within 1 week, email back and ping them until...
Hey, asshole, what the fuck?
Every week. Like, my whole thing is, whenever... Here's my little trick is, if it's, if it's my second or third email or something, just say, hey, I'm having problems with my email server, just want to make sure you got this mail. I quote it below. Just always be polite. And more often than not, the people that are going to be answering emails like that are so freaking overworked, they'll never respond to the first email.
That's really how it is.
It'll pop up. It'll be like, oh, we'll get to that later, whatever. When they get the second email, seriously, like 80, 90% of the time, to my experience, the second email, I get a response within a day, always starting with, oh, God, I'm sorry. And then I get some kind of an answer, either a yes or a no or a ping me next week. I
just thought of like some guy I got to get back to about a recommendation letter. And I was like, I was totally thinking about that right before we started. And I'm like, damn it. But I had so much stuff happening in the last week.
Dude. Yeah, we're busy, and guys, it's never personal. It is never personal. We're just busy as shit.
Things have been going crazy, man.
And no one will ever apply the first
You saw
time.
my foot. I mean, you know.
Your stupid foot.
It's so funny because on
my left foot.
On a dating website, if I were to reply to a girl, or if I were to send a message to a girl every week, she'd eventually want to get like a restraining order or something. Sorry, stupid joke.
You did your best. That's what's important. Hey, let me switch gears over here to a question. This other question that I got for the CrunchCast, CrunchCast.com.
The hell's going on?
Okay.
What's wrong, John? Are you okay? Do we need to call the cops?
All the sound in my headphones are gradually shifting all into the left ear, and I have no idea why. And I'm just like jiggling the cable around, trying to figure out what's what.
There might be an earthquake coming to Austin.
Oh shit!
That happens. I'm gonna grab another beer. I'll be right back.
Oh damn! So while he's getting the beer, I'm gonna try to translate this question because the last question was a pretty long question. Hey, look, I can do this again about.
Oh wow!
Bow. Look at you see how long that question was.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this motherfucker. Bow. Damn. What is all this about? I don't even know what this is. You might be selling me on some kind of project. Wait a minute. This isn't a question. He's selling DVDs. No.
Hip hop CDs.
Hip hop CDs. Damn it. 1989. It's back again. So he's got a good deal of experience working with some stuff.
Yeah, let's put a summary of the question at the bottom that you expect us to read, and let's make that less than 140 characters. If you're able to tweet it, go ahead and ask it.
Tweet it, bitches.
That's one thing that's the only.
What are we tweeting?
That's the only thing that annoys me about Twitter is how little amount of characters you can.
140 is all you need, bitch.
Yeah.
If you can't tell me to do 140 characters. It's more than one question. Or you're talking about yourself. What's wrong, Johnny?
There's dried schmutz all over my beer bottle.
Oh,
no idea what the hell it is. It's
jeez.
Someone blew their nose on it.
So I think what the question is, which schools are the best?
Yeah, sorry.
And
he's laughing at something else.
Which schools would you recommend for a person like him? Oh, that part. I have to read the whole question to make that make sense. Check this out. I'm gonna just message you this question.
Okay.
That's so cool.
I can do a dramatic reading if you'd like.
Would you do that while I get more wine?
Yes. Should I use his real name?
I don't know. If you sell the other stuff, then I don't know.
Schoolboy 69. We'll just use Schoolboy
69.
My name is Schoolboy 69. I am a senior at Schoolboy 69 University, interested in going into video games as a career. I've been watching your CrunchCast for the past few weeks, and I have a question that I think you guys will be able to answer. I have a good deal of experience working for Western on a project called Bronco Land, a 3D tour made with Unity 3D. But Western doesn't have a program of study that relates to video games in any way. I'm currently applying to grad schools so that I have a better chance of getting a job. I'm going to apply to Academy of Art University in San Francisco, Gnomon School of Visual Effects, Full Sail, and the Savannah College of Art and Design. From your experience, which of these schools is the best, based on the artists you've seen from any of these schools? Also, do you have any other schools that you would recommend for a person like me?
Well, it's got to be embarrassing for this guy.
Well, he
speaks good English. That there's very good punctuation, capitalization, good cadence, good sentence structure. He didn't really end any sentences and prepositions. But
Denmark's
it's actually
a pretty cool name.
Is that
Denmark is a pretty cool name. But but actually the schools he mentioned are really not that bad. I've heard decent things about the Academy of Art University, the Gnomon School. Those guys put out like the best training educational videos ever, and they have crazy people that work there. But I don't know that anyone that's actually. Are they actually a school you go to and do stuff at, or do they only do videos?
I don't know. I thought it was like an online thing. My buddy signed up for it. Well, maybe he just signed up for the online thing that gives him free videos every week or something. He can watch so many hours or something.
So cool.
I don't know.
I didn't know
it might be like Animation Mentor, that school. That's just literally. I think it's just an online school. I don't really know. But.
Yeah. They are. Animation Mentors actually puts out a lot of really cool students.
Yeah.
Although I heard they had a lot of some of their best and most talented faculty leave a couple years back. I don't know what's like since then, but early on it was quite a thing. And they had a really good curriculum. They put out some great students. I worked with one when I was at NCSoft, Ian Wayna, and he's a badass. He's working at I think Petroglyph in Las Vegas now. Super talented guy.
That's a cool name.
As for those three schools that you mentioned, I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of motherfuckers that came from Full Sail.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
At Alphonic right now, we have 3 guys from Full Sail. And back when I was at Mythical and Warhammer, I don't know how many guys were from Full Sail. I knew at least, like 5 guys who went there or something.
Were they
5 guys?
What were they at 5? Or what were those 5 guys? Were they programmers too?
No, just different stuff like terrain and arts. Whatever.
I keep forgetting that they're in art school too. That they do art.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not really recommending Full Sail, but I'm just saying I've worked with so many people from there. It seems like they're integrated into the industry enough that if you know some people and they get a job somewhere and you're good and they know you're there, and it just helps you for your networking.
Oh, absolutely. I agree completely. Out of all the schools I've ever heard about, and based on the people I've worked with, and just known peripherally, Full Sail seems to have more actual full-time employed and placed students out of any school I've ever heard of.
Yeah,
and I've worked with a lot of real badasses from there. I've heard great things. I've also heard some mixed things, but I'm just anecdotally speaking, based on people I've actually met that have been there that are really good. That tells me it's a good school. I'm sure they have. I mean, every school has just terrible people that come out of it, but I've seen fewer of them from Full Sail than anywhere, really.
Sure.
Yeah, and
art institutes are shit, though.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Hey-o.
No, I don't. I'm not
There's
gonna talk about
There's
that.
that big court case right now, right?
Yeah, with California and their photography students. Yeah.
Brian came out of one of those places, and we know a guy who did some professorship there that had to fail a bunch of people, apparently.
Well,
yeah, but they're getting sued for $11 billion by the U.S. government because they're doing it's sort of like the mortgage crisis thing. Basically, people that are signing people up for mortgages had direct financial incentive to sign up anybody.
I've heard this is the next bubble, is the whole
for-profit schools.
Yeah, like a higher learning. Those for-profit schools and stuff like that is the next bubble beyond the housing market.
I believe it, considering the amount of money that went into it. I actually read into this a lot today. So the U.S. government is suing the Art Institute for $11 billion, which could go up to $33 billion, because it's illegal for the Art Institute to pay recruiters based on the amount of students they're able to enroll that get financial aid. So you're doing crazy shit like signing up people that are like drunk or high, people that are fully illiterate, signing up people for online classes that don't have computers, and then manipulating parents into signing up their kids by like making promises like, oh, if you put your kid in $120,000 worth of debt, you'll get them out of a bad neighborhood, crap like that. And so they were sending all these people to the school, and then the government gave them financial aid, which is $11 billion over the last 8 years, and that is almost the Art Institute's entire income for the last 8 years. And their government found out and called them out on it, and it's a crazy serious charge. I mean, it is defrauding the government for like almost a decade. Well, but I'm happy because of the Art Institute. I knew they were incompetent, but I didn't know they were evil.
Yeah, those guys.
I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard me complain about it before. How they just let all of these students in that don't have any talent. Well, I shouldn't say that, but they let a lot of these people in that don't really care about what they're doing. I'm trying to word this in a nice way.
They don't have
the drive. Basically.
They don't have an attachment to the muse.
That's
they haven't reached enlightenment,
and they're just pretty much handing out degrees like candy. So, like, what did you say they gave out? They gave out 600 photography degrees, and
that was that one article I was reading. It was something like there was hundreds of these degrees
in California
for jobs that just don't exist.
Yeah,
it was 600. Yeah, and it was like an accelerated 15-month program. And I guess they put so many people through there. Someone just called shenanigans, saying just like, "There's no fucking way." I mean, come on. Yeah. They're not anywhere near that many jobs, and the recruiters are lying about how many jobs there are. These students are signing up because they think there are jobs. I think, Chris, weren't you the one that told me that there are some of these schools that you've heard of are promising people like lead positions as soon as they graduate with no industry experience?
I don't know if it was me. I don't know if that was something I brought up or not. That doesn't sound like something I remember, but
I heard it from someone recently. But yeah, some like a handful of schools, or at least a couple places.
Huh?
Yeah. Saying when you graduate, you'll lead animator.
Well, I remember discussing an anecdote with you, I think, about a girl on an internship fair.
This was a different thing, but I remember that. Let's. What was that again?
No, it was a girl on an internship fair. I don't even remember exactly what it was. She wanted she was interning for a lead position in something that she didn't show any ability in. And it was like, say what? And her idea was more like, oh, I'm a girl and I can talk to people kind of idea. That's really what it seemed to be built around. It was like, I'm good at talking to people. I'm like, well, you're not convincing me. So maybe, I don't know. But
that's
like I said, I'm not fooled by your dazzly looks and your tight outfit, young woman.
Yeah.
I need people that are performers.
Was she the one that said, I'll just be a producer, or is that someone else?
I don't know. There's a lot of cases like that. But maybe something like, sure, why not? Let's throw under the bus more. Yeah. She wanted to be a producer. She said I wanted to be your boss. She said I'm going to be CEO intern right now. I'm going to fire you.
CEO intern. That'd be holy crap. That'd be a great like canceled in 4-episode sitcom.
Well, that's like the son of the whoever owns the company, right?
The son of CEO intern, the night of the living CEO intern.
I did want to throw out there, since we were talking about schools and about how they some of them tend to recruit anyone and everyone. I did want to throw out that if you are going to go into school to study game development, work your ass off and get a good portfolio or demo reel or whatever it is that you decide to do when you're at that school. It really doesn't matter what school it does, but whatever school you do decide to go to, as long as you put forth the effort and you have the drive to do good.
You stay in school. You don't use drugs.
Yeah.
No, Brian is absolutely right.
I mean, as long as you can show that you have effort and drive, and you eventually get your degree and you have a good portfolio with it, then and you graduate like one of the top guys of your class, and all the other guys are just there.
A bunch of ham-fisted know-nothings.
then it's gonna say something. You'll eventually get something, and once you break into the industry, as long as you keep working hard, you should be able to stay there. So
what you're saying is, as long as you're really good, things will be great.
Yeah, let's sum it up with that. As long as you're really good, everything will be great.
But if you're not, woe betide you. No, seriously, like, a school will not make someone into an artist. You're not going to be a good artist or graduate with any prospects if you just go to school, do the classwork, and go home.
Thank you.
An artist is made by... artists are made by people that make themselves. They work their asses off. They go above and beyond. They work extra hours. They do it because they love it and they want to kick ass at it, not just because they fill in the blanks. And I think a lot of students are under the impression they can go to an art school and graduate an artist with a degree that'll mean something. Degrees mean absolutely nothing to me, and I've never seen a single degree from anywhere ever that means shit. But I mean, all it comes down to is your portfolio and your personality and whether you can hold your shit together. And granted, I don't think schools are terrible. A school can help refine an artist, but a school not make an artist. The best artists I've seen come out of schools were artists going in, and the schools help them focus and be better. It's down to your learning style and how you self-improve, contacts you make, and all that. So I'm not all down on schools.
The biggest thing that I took from schools is, even though it helped me with some of my traditional skills, is my school is more of a technical school. I went to the Art Institute of Colorado, by the way. But it was more of a technical school. So the biggest thing that I got from it is I learned how to use the basic programs, like the Adobe programs. I learned how to use the Max and Mayas and the big main programs that you need, the basic ones. We didn't touch on any game engines or anything, so you're going to have to do that on your free time.
But you still got exposed to software you wouldn't necessarily have otherwise, and you're around other people using it, people that knew how to use it.
Yeah, and very expensive software, too, by the way. So, I mean,
yes, very much so.
And you get student discounts for the software if you really want to buy it, but it's not you can't use it for commercial use. So,
right.
I didn't end up doing that. I just worked at school all the time, or at the dorms. But
that's a great way to get into it. I mean, great way to get exposed to it. I mean, that's a great positive result of a school. It'll expose you to things you would not have access to otherwise. And some people work really well in like a structured environment. So if you couple, the advantages of a large institution. Quit biting me. The advantages of a large institution.
John has a cat.
It's biting the hell out of my hand. It couples the advantages of a large and well-financed institution, the resources they can bring to bear, plus getting other people into the same place and letting you be able to get like a lot of shit done you wouldn't be able to necessarily on your own. Being in that kind of structured learning environment, having access to cool shit can equal cool shit if you really apply yourself. And I mean, Brian, you're very gainfully employed. You're stupidly talented, and I think you're one of the few Art Institute graduates that are worth a damn. That would make you probably number 9 or 10 I've met. No offense to anyone I've met that's been to art institutes, but
you all suck and you're terrible, and this is you being called out. Update your portfolio and send it to At John Jones.
Oh shit.
No, that is a good compliment.
Yeah, thank you.
But and I'm really glad to get your side of it, Brian. I don't often. Well, I think only once have I ever worked with anyone that's been to an art institute. Most of the people that go to art institutes, I don't end up talking to because they don't work in games. So it's rare I actually get a real insight into what it's like to go to one.
So, yeah, it's I don't know if I would recommend it or not. I mean, I'm proud with my education because, I mean, it was a local school. I was right down the road, so I went to that school. I had a good time at school. Made a lot of friends. I ended up getting my job with the degree. Had I not gone to school, paid all that money and gone to school, who knows what would have happened? Maybe some other alternate universe. I'm rich.
You might have turned into a robot.
Yeah.
Killed Sarah Connor.
It's too bad you can't get a degree in becoming a robot.
Hey,
I would have gone to school for that.
How many years are we from that?
Not very far.
But I'll tell you what. When the
it's a master's.
When the first legit class comes up on how to be a robot, and you come out of that, it'll be just so outdated,
obsolete. The second you learn it,
just like you come out of school. You're a shitty robot. You're not even any good. We need to just trash you, and we'll put your conscience in this hard drive, and then we'll put you in a better bot.
Going to school.
Oh, your conscience was captured in low D. You're like a low definition conscience over here. You're like a retard.
Going to school to become a robot is like the complete opposite of going to school to become an artist. That's
obviously by the time you graduate, it's just like my iPhone X is smarter than you are. And yes, in the future, they're shaped like little sheriff's.
Oh, that is a sheriff's badge. The first time I was like, what is that? There's a weird shimmer on it.
Oh, yeah,
from my angle.
The future's weird. All phones look like it's complicated.
And
it's
you are from the future, and everyone can tell you're from the future based on your hair color. So yeah,
it's natural.
The next question comes from YouTube. I hope you're really excited for this, ladies and gentlemen, because here we go.
Thank you, Casey Cation.
Yeah. I'm gonna do this real quick. Just funny.
Oh Jesus!
How important is it for an environment artist to have the ability to draw concept art? How much of a value add is it if the art is good? And further, is it worth improving at drawing concept art /sketches /designing at the expense of potentially compromising the improvement of the standard environment artist skill set? Love these casts, and I love John. Fuck Brian. People get that is the most messages I get. People say F Brian. I don't know.
And I appreciate my fans.
And Chris, thank you for reading my question.
You're welcome.
Is that really your question, Joe?
No.
No, it's from Environment Art. I think if that's the same Environment Art, then that's Jeff Parrott.
Okay. Oh, Jeff Parrott, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I met him at PAX. He's remarkably small. You ever been to the East Coast and been to those historic buildings, and they all have the really tiny stairs? The stairs are like really short and tiny, and then the door handles are all like at the height of your knee. He would be like, "No problem, guys, I got this."
I've met him. He is remarkably small.
He's a good guy. But
I like the way he worded his questions. I remember I could answer the second one, but I forgot what the second one was.
Here's my first answer to the question: is that I don't draw enough. When I do draw, sometimes I'm surprised. I'm like, "Oh, look, I drew that thing, and it looks like what I wanted." But this only happens when I draw environment stuff. However, I just don't draw, and I never really have drawn. I mean, when I was a youngster, I was drawing comics, but then I found out about game art, and I just went right into that and kind of just forgot about a lot of the rest, and just did just pure game art. So for me, I haven't needed it, but the ability is kind of still there, and I should. Given my druthers, I would make it better upon myself to carry a sketch pad and do like a sketch a day.
Yeah.
Because I think it would help me. I think it would help my ability and overall blah, blah, blah.
And I think the second question was somewhere along those lines, like, is it beneficial to have the knowledge and the skill to be able to draw? And the answer to that is obviously yes. But
God.
I mean, the more you know, the better. The more you know, the better. Everyone knows that. And if you don't, then you need to know more so you can know better stuff.
Well, I think the thrust of his question was, is it worth it to improve that at the expense?
Yeah, that was the third question.
Yeah, like if you're sitting like a whole 8-hour day and you're just drawing instead of doing some 3D art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's where I was going to let you guys answer.
Okay. I feel like you can just passively, I feel like you can passively sort of like, sketch and draw and have it be more of a, like, less of a super intense, I'm creating environment art, I'm doing this, I'm doing that kind of thing. It's like, it's like lay back in public, just kind of, dick around, have it be not necessarily, I'm devoting work time to this so much as is, like I could be playing a game on my phone or doing this or doing that.
TV, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Learning the keyboard.
Yeah, like those cool documentaries you sent me. I'm going to start just listening to those, and I'm just going to start drawing while I'm listening to those.
Magical
just so
Egypt.
with my hands.
You can put that in. It's on topdocumentaries.com. You put it in Google, and there it is. It's 1 hour, 7 episodes that are each an hour. It is ridiculous.
It's really interesting shit.
I was going to watch that, but I watched the first episode of season 2 of Workaholics instead.
Which is a funny show. Yeah, I watched on my Workaholics first.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I gotta watch some documentaries.
I think I'm gonna do that too, just so I don't blow my mind before I accept the comedy.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
First the dessert, then the vegetables.
Yes, exactly.
I'll be honest with you, that Magical Egypt, I bought some Graham Hancock books and some a few other books and stuff about some guys that have these different ideas in academia. They have these ideas about, like, man wasn't caveman to Wi-Fi. There was, like, ages of man, and, like, now this whole Magical Egypt thing is explaining how a lot of these structures are a bit more advanced than what we originally knew them as. Now, for me, I started with, like, an art history book, like my bread and butter. Here's the place, here's what it was made out of, here's the dimensions, blah, blah, blah. These guys are going really into it. Like, one of the episodes was explaining hieroglyphics in a way that as they're explaining it and they're panning to the next one, I knew what it meant before they explained it. And I was like, wait a minute.
Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Dang.
And like I said, it's a really good documentary, but some of them go super, super deep. There was this one that was just totally science. Like 100% hard science about hieroglyphics.
It's a title.
And then right at the halfway point, they go into this gland that's deep in the brain that produces DMT, and they start talking about people, government studies of people doing DMT, and how they think that it's the Egyptian-based entrance and exit of the conscience, that it takes you to the next world, that you can speak to the whole universe at once. And this is, things get really super deep, and then they go right into lucid dreaming, and it's like, holy crap, guys. Let me pause this, let my brain absorb what is happening here, and then come back an hour later. Like, it seems like I have to watch these documentaries. The 7-hour documentary, I have to rewatch it like 5 or 6 times to even get an idea what these people are talking about.
That sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like something
it's just so far out of the general thinking. Like, it's like, well, most people go, well, that's just crazy. It's like, well, kinda, but maybe not.
I've gotten to the point now where I don't think anything's crazy.
I'm so open-minded.
Impossible. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I had a very weird experience tonight, so if I'm a little out of it, by the way.
You're in it.
Yeah.
You're deep, Brian.
I was actually
muscle.
Yeah. I've been practicing lucid dreaming, but I suck at it, by the way. I thought I'd throw that out there. But it sounds
I've been putting on
awesome.
white noise, and what you do is you throughout the day, every time you go through like a door or there's a situation, you just go. You ask yourself, you go, are you awake?
Oh, okay.
And like every time you go to a bathroom door, you put your hand on the door and you go, wait, are you awake? And then if you do it for long enough throughout a whole day, like you'll start to like
do it in your dreams.
Kind of freak out about it because you're like, whoop, and you'll wake up in the day. Because you're kind of like in your own trance, like thinking about whatever you're thinking about, whatever's going through your mind, you're kind of in a trance. Especially if you're an artist.
Yeah.
You're so deep enthralled. Like there's been times where I'll like go, I gotta get food. And I'll get up and I'll go walk to some place and buy lunch. And come back, but the whole time I'm just like kind of looking at the ground like an idiot. Not talking to anybody because I'm just in a trance, just in a dreamlike state, thinking about the art that I'm going to do as soon as I get back. Or whatever. Maybe you're thinking, who knows what you're thinking about.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying.
But you find yourself just kind of, they would if you're in school, hey, you're daydreaming. They'd say you're daydreaming, even though you might be thinking about some complicated math problem in a math class.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just...
That's pretty cool. I'm gonna practice that.
Apparently you can do that so that you're like, all through your day you ask yourself if you're awake, and then because you did that so much during the day, when you go to sleep, then your brain just starts defragging your whole day and going into your dreams, and you go through a door in your dream you'll ask, are you awake? And then you'll be like, nope, I'm in a dream. And then you either like completely lose it. Like some people just wake up from it.
Yeah.
And other people just go, it takes practice, but other people can just get control. And then all of a sudden, like, every dream they're having, they're flying and having sex. It's all your dreams become.
And having sex while flying.
Yeah.
That's really the ultimate goal.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I've been practicing this a little bit myself, and over the last few weeks, some of the dreams I've been able to have using different techniques of lucid dreaming that are just, like, dreams are like, what?
Yeah.
They're really intense dreams, so it's...
It
has nothing to do.
Do you take melatonin?
I was just gonna say.
It has nothing to do with drawing concept art, helping your environment art. But no, John, I don't take any of that. I was thinking about taking this stuff called Alpha Brain from On It Labs. I've been hearing about this stuff. It sounds really
yeah.
I do take melatonin, John. What do you think of it?
I think it's one of the greatest things ever, but only when you find the right dose. I've never slept well, but melatonin helped me sleep really, really well. It gives me crazy, vivid, awesome, almost always happy dreams. So it's like jacking into the Matrix every freaking night.
That's my problem with it, is it makes me sleep too well. Like, I'm too comfortable in the morning when I wake up that I just want to go right back to sleep.
Dude, every time when I wake up from my own that kind of lucid dreaming thing, I go, I can get another hour. Because I know I can go in and do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, what's your dosage?
That's the same problem with Minecraft.
Yeah, dude.
Just another hour.
You should see my mansions on the Polycount server. I need to take pics, bro. I hurt my ankle Friday night. I had the whole weekend just like... Basically, I was asleep. Laying on the couch, my foot up. I was like, just asleep. But I wake up for a few hours every now and again, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything. I just log into Minecraft and start building crazy shit.
I don't know what dosage I'm taking. I just bought the vitamin package, and I'm just taking one pill a night. I don't know how much that is, but...
The dosage can really vary wildly from person to person, and more isn't always necessarily better. I take 3 milligrams, which is kind of high. Some people only take 250 micrograms. Sort of like middle of the road is like maybe 1 to 1.5 milligrams. Try that. I just try different dosages for like 5 days at a time, see what's up. Because melatonin hangovers suck. I would rather have like a hangover from drinking a bottle of tequila than a melatonin hangover, just because it feels like there's a giant foot pressing me into my bed for like 2 hours in the morning.
I'm glad you said that, because tonight I was just going to pop the whole bottle.
Pizzow.
And never wake up. But you dream. Oh, Brian, how you dream.
Everyone thinks I'm a pill popper now. No. They're just vitamins, by the way.
That is what I think of you as a pill popper. Right?
Yep. Melatonin occurs naturally in the brain, the pineal gland. It's secreted naturally when so interesting. Okay, so yeah, melatonin is secreted naturally by the pineal gland. When it starts to get dark out. This is why people fall asleep. Your brain, your pineal gland starts, basically crapping melatonin into your system. So
that's what they call the third eye.
To help the pineal gland?
Yes, the pineal gland is what they call the third eye.
I thought that was
okay.
That's the thing. Yeah, no. Okay, that's the thing that produces melatonin. It produces DMT. In some much like lower life form reptiles, it actually works as a light receptor because it in like reptile brains, it's least developed, so it's actually closer to the surface of the brain, and so it actually works as a light receptor, and that's why for us, like you said, it's the melatonin stuff. It works with the sunlight. If it's out and it's bright, yeah, you get the what is it? What are the two ones? The dopamine, is it dopamine and melatonin?
Dopamine and serotonin.
Yeah, serotonin. There's one's based on the sun being out, and one's based on it being night. Is that right?
I have no idea. I just know melatonin is only night based.
Okay, melatonin's the night one, but there's one for the sun as well.
Okay,
and it helps you like wake up, and it releases those glands. And like I said, in some reptiles, it's close enough to be a light receptor, and us, it's deep in our brains, and it's there. It is. You can look it up. Just Google it. Quit being a bitch. And yeah, apparently it releases all these crazy chemicals in the brain, and just if that stuff goes crazy, man, whew.
Yeah, and I mean that's why you get the crazy dreams, because you're giving your body so much more melatonin, and just by supplementing with it to help you knock out, you'll usually knock out within like 30 minutes or so, and then sleep a solid 6 to 8 hours and have really, really vivid dreams. That actually saved my ass when I was a couple times I've flown overseas. I was taking melatonin on the flight because they shut the windows. I knocked the hell out. If like the windows were up, I'd just be completely screwed. I wouldn't be able to sleep and just wreck my system.
You're just looking out the window going woo the whole time.
The whole time your brain's just like ah!
What's happening?
But yeah, you can find melatonin at any supermarket. I mean, back at 60 for like $4.
And that is why it's important to know how to draw.
You better go somewhere with this.
We just got way off topic for like 30 minutes.
Not even close to 30.
Brian, I just woke up every neighbor in my fucking complex.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I wish I was there to high five you.
Oh shit.
But yeah, to answer the original question, I mean, being a concept artist, if you're good, being able to do concept art, if you're good, is a nice secondary skill and a good value add to have. If you're not good, it's probably not really worth showing it off.
Oh yeah.
Like on the job, it could be nice to have like rough pre-visualization skills that aren't expected to be, top notch, hireable quality. But if it's really not the best thing you do, then it's not really worth doing.
If you can draw, that's dope. Really, and if you can draw really well, it's an additional hireable quality. But when I say that, I mean you got to be able to draw like concept art level art, or if you can just, like I said, if you can draw well, then damn, that is awesome. It's so cool. You know what? The one side exception to the rule that I can see is if you're able to show how, like, let's say you're an environment artist, if you can show how you can compose a scene by doing rough environmental sketches of different things. Oh yeah.
Of this and that,
the step,
and show the progression.
Yes, it's actually really good. Drawing like some silhouettes or something, and kind of composing a few, and figuring it out.
See, that can be good.
The guy that sits next to me, Cole, he can draw. I would say he can draw better than me because he draws more often than me. But he can every now and again he just busts out something really interesting, and it's cool because I'm like, oh wow, you just drew that. That's cool. It's awesome.
Cole's a cool dude.
And he's an environment artist.
Wow.
Actually, one note on the previous question about the different schools. One thing I wanted to say: the Savannah College of Art and Design, I've heard mixed things about, but the students and the faculty I've met from there have been pretty solid.
The one down in the Georgia, South Carolina border.
Yep, Savannah. I spoke there once.
I remember when I was a youngster in high school that was a big deal to get in there. Suddenly, this one girl got in there and she could paint, like she could oil paint like a pro, and she got in there. It's like, wow.
And they can do some really cool things with students that really apply themselves. And I've heard a lot of people are kind of disaffected with the program, but I think that they're like I'm gonna drink too much and show up hungover to classes, and oh my god, why did I get a bad education? What's my student debt? But I've seen some really good people come out of there that I like and would totally work with, just for what that's worth. Full Sail and SCAD are two of the only art schools that I think are really worth the damn. The other one being the Gemini School of Concept Art and Design in Austin, actually, in Cedar Park. Their concept art school for games. and I mean, almost all their students past the first year are hireable. They're amazing. It is the best art school I've ever seen. It's like classes of 20. It's like a 4-year trade school. The people that run the school are absolutely amazing, and I brought on one of their artists as an intern. And if my studio hadn't been shut down, I would have hired her full time. They put out
money.
They put out top quality students. They're amazing. They changed my mind on art schools, because I always used to think they're complete bullshit. To some extent, I still do, but there's some good ones. A handful, small handful.
Yeah,
thimbleful.
Hopefully, that's enough information to help this guy. He seems like a pretty cool person. I hope he makes the right decision. Hope he.
I hope so too.
How can you tell he seems pretty cool?
No, it's kind of the joke I was making.
Oh, Brian.
No, he really
he called out some good schools.
I really appreciate it when people like have good grammar and stuff in their emails or whatever it may be. So I guess it's a pet peeve when people use the wrong then or than, like, or the you or your,
yeah,
your or your, and then there's the theirs. If you know those, you're cool in my book. So
what are you doing?
And he had a cool name. Was it Sexy Boy 69?
Sexy Boy 69.
Oh yeah, it was Sexy Boy 69.
He's my favorite.
Oh, Denmark. No, it was Denmark. I always confuse the two.
Is that his name? Is that
really Denmark?
That's pretty cool.
There was a Denmark.
We shouldn't drink at the same time, John. There's an awkward silence when we do that.
Is that my fault, though?
And in that moment, we connected. And on that note, I'll be right back.
I was going to ask you something, John.
What a dick.
What?
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding now that you're back. What's up, Chris?
You just took it.
I was just kidding. Don't you have to do something?
We need our fluids, people.
Yes, I had to pee, but I was being polite.
Hurry up and pee.
Yeah, go pee.
So I can get my fluids.
Don't hold it. That's bad for you.
Yeah. There was a guy that died because of that. You can look it up.
Okay, I'm ready.
I don't know who it was.
I'm kidding. We're back.
Cool.
Alright. Are those all the questions this week, or do we have more?
That's pretty much
That's a good amount of questions. I'm glad we're getting questions. Keep sending them, people.
Keep sending those questions to contact@crunchcast.com.
Yeah.
You can send them on YouTube. You can send them on Twitter. You can send them to those email addresses. Whatever you gotta do. You gotta send them because we don't get them if you don't send them. You can write a letter, but I got no address for you right now.
Yo.
But here's the thing. Thanks for listening. John will be coming back here in a minute. We'll wrap up some things. We'll figure it all out. Let's
What are we at right now?
122.
Oh, okay. Not
Be
bad.
sure to John is sharing us now with his new johnjones.com. He's been hooking that up. He's the smartest. What an asshole.
What is that? What is that?
What does that mean?
No, I keep hearing the smartest after John.
Like,
is there a joke behind that?
It's just his little. It's a word that he came up with.
We gotta hurry before.
It's branding word. It's branding word.
Okay.
It's what you do when you come up with your thing. You get like, I get like ChrisHolden.net, and I just throw that out, and then you can always come back to that. Whoa! Did you see this guy with his egos?
I'm just a big fan of the Sphinx that are Thruska. What's up?
I thought you were going to say you're a big fan of this podcast.
Oh, no, I never watched this.
I'm not. No,
we were just talking about, we're talking about hair.
Hair? I can talk about hair.
December 21st, 2012, the planet Nibiru, the 10th planet, which is on an elliptical cycle, will come in contact with Earth and will be once again enslaved to get gold for the people of the Nibiru. And we're just wondering how you feel about that.
I was actually planning on defecting immediately. No, in all seriousness, I actually
a lot of people believe this, Brian.
At Chichen Itza, at the pyramid on December 21st, 2012.
A lot of people think it's real.
Just to see. What, you know?
I do. I do now. Hey, I'm a pretty open-minded guy, so whatever he just said, yeah, sure, why not?
But yeah, I actually am going to be at Chichen Itza on December 21st, 2012, because I just want to be there to see the shit. Imagine there's either going to be a really big riot or a really big orgy or half and half.
How come I have not heard anything about this?
The world ending?
Because you're 22.
In 2012?
That's probably why. Oh, the 2012 thing. Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah.
What was the whole Noboru thing? I thought that was like a James Cameron thing.
No, it's something else. No, seriously, I'm gonna break in what I was doing. Apparently, some people believe that whole thing is there's another planet that circles around our. Yeah, just like all the other planets, but it's got a weird orbit.
Okay.
And it comes in close enough to Earth at 2012 that there's this whole species of people that are like gods to us.
Oh, no.
That'll re-enslave us because that's what they did back in the Mayans.
Back when it came around.
Yeah. But here's the deal. Only one person came up with this whole idea and sold a show to History Channel, and it made everybody freak out about 2012. It's like one guy came up with this whole idea and sold a documentary to them because look, History Channel is a channel that's buying and selling shows. They're trying to make money.
Yeah.
So they'll have like one show is JFK was assassinated by the government. Another one, and then the next show is JFK. This one guy shot him. You know what I mean? Like they don't really. It's an entertainment show. Mm-hmm. It's a program. So.
Did Larry the Cable Guy talks pyramids?
It's ridiculousness. Anyway, I'll be right back.
Either way, I'm freaking out right now.
What do you say the name of the planet was? Like Nabu or something?
I thought that was the name of the people. The name of the planet was like something like I think it was a dinosaur name.
Okay. Well, I started Nabu. I'm like, was that like the
yeah? I said Noboru. I said
Natalie
Noboru
Portman was the queen of.
As Padme?
Yes. Queen Amidala or Princess Owen. My God, I'm a Star Wars fan. I should know this. Fuck. Oh well.
So yeah, Brian gave me a really good idea.
Oh, you don't.
Let's we can wrap up the CrunchCast with
Brian gave me a really good idea.
With what I call freak out mode.
Oh, freak out mode, yeah.
Freak out mode. Yay, freak out mode. Everybody get ready, it's freak out mode. Dun, 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 dun. Hey.
That'll be our theme song for the freak out mode. Open.
It's like I said, I've been watching all these crazy documentaries on Egypt and all that stuff. And like I said, I started with the old bread and butter. Give me those meat and potatoes. I got the art history book. But I've been getting a little deeper, and I've been watching all these crazy documentaries about crazy stuff. And when I say crazy, I mean we're talking about stuff that is outside of academia, stuff that it's science in theory. Most science, especially if you get really, really into space science, like a multiverse and black holes within black holes and infinite universes and all this stuff. Look, it's really all theory because if your human brain can't really wrap around it, but you can read a lot of amazing theories right now. It was front page news recently that we broke the speed of light. Right now with the Higgs boson and the Large Hadron Collider, there's a lot of crazy things going around, and if you're a person like me, that's really entertaining. I get to me, that's like, wow, look, monkeys, just keep pushing the button. Yeah. Just keep pushing the button, monkeys. Let's just go. Let's make it happen. Whatever it is, we're going to do it. But another thing that interests me is the guys that are looking backwards and looking at history in a different way. Because really, all history it's still theoretical beyond stuff that's highly, highly documented. But even things that are highly documented are also considered fables or fiction. Troy was considered fiction, and then this guy goes, I'm just going to follow the story, and he found the place legit. Huh. And just recently, they say they found Atlantis, and a lot of scientists are going, yeah, this is really it. But I did not know that. It's still kind of up in the air. And these are all things you can Google it up. And see make your own decisions, folks. Have a great time, because that's the whole point. When it comes to stuff, go ahead.
Plug your boy's name. Graham Hancock?
Oh, Graham Hancock. Yeah, I ordered like 3 of his books on Amazon. Fingerprints to the Gods. There's an interesting book. He's the guy that I was talking about that earlier. He doesn't believe that humans went from a caveman to Wi-Fi in one straight line. He believes there's been eras of people. And the reason for this is so many things that have changed over. If you look back, all science agrees that there were ice age. There's ice ages, multiple ice ages, and it cooled off. And there was different eras. Like we had the dinosaurs, and had this, that, and the other. There was the old school ice age where all of America was under a mile of ice. Like this is all this science. It's pretty well known. But some of the things that he talks about is, say there is an ice age where America is under a mile of ice. That means everything would be arid because there'd be no rain because everything would be frozen, and the coastlines would be moved way out. So that means the only people that would have any societies would be coastline people.
Yeah.
So as soon as that ice age is over, that means that ice all melts, and boom, that whole society is destroyed by water. Now, during that 10,000 years of ice age, this is a fucking mile of a glacier just like rolling over everything, just turning. It would turn Manhattan right now into dust. There'd be nothing left.
Yeah.
And to say that there couldn't have been a society that happened and they got pretty advanced and then were just destroyed by some ridiculous event.
That's crazy. What if we found an ancient satellite in our orbit?
It
was an ancient satellite
that could happen.
Thousands and thousands of years old, back from when a previous generation had Wi-Fi.
Like 100,000-year-old satellite.
Yeah.
They just found it and they're like, what is this?
That'd be more crazy than if they found Atlantis in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, in the Pacific. They found it in Spain.
Guys, Google the Baghdad battery.
Yeah, the Baghdad battery is good.
What?
Chris, you've heard more about this than
yes.
I have, I think.
I don't really want to go into that so much because the Baghdad battery is an interesting thing, but there's a lot of theories behind it that I don't really understand so much to articulate about it. But one that I would like to go into is Baalbek. And Baalbek is a temple that they found.
Glenn Beck's brother? Glenn Beck's brother?
Yes.
Samoan?
He this place has you remember back when you played Quake, you're like, those stones are too big. People would make tumbles out of this. Baalbek has these stones that are just like hundreds of feet long and hundreds of tons. It's ridiculous.
Oh man.
And it's so old.
I'm Googling.
Yeah, let me see what I can find on the Googles from it.
Damn.
How's it spelled?
I love these conversations. They blow my mind.
Oh, totally. I love reading about this stuff. I don't always buy it. You know, in fact,
you never know.
I
Well,
really do, but I just
always
love getting different perspectives on things.
Baalbek. Baalbek. This place is tough to find the right pictures of it to see how the scale of these stones are, but there's some pictures you can find of people next to these stones, and it is just ridiculous how big these stones are. It's like, how did they get there? And it's just one of those places. It's like Machu Picchu.
Yeah,
it's one of those places. You've been there, right? Or which one did you go to?
I went to
Chichen Itza.
Yeah, you went to Chichen Itza. That's another one of those places. These places are just ridiculous. And there's this place out in Guatemala. That's where they found that pyramid. It's the largest pyramid they've ever found. And it's just covered in jungle. And no one knew it was there till like just recently. And they just found out all this stuff. And apparently...
wait, where'd you say that was?
It's in Guatemala.
Oh, okay. Ekbalam was the one they found, I think, right before that.
Yeah, and there's apparently thousands of pyramids out there that are just covered in jungle, but they didn't know there were pyramids because they were covered in jungle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just ridiculous.
God dang.
Let's go a little deeper on the rabbit hole here.
Jesus Christ. Okay,
you just found pictures of Baalbek.
Baalbek.
Okay, yeah. So check this out. Okay.
What the shit?
one of the things they talk about is that if you look up ancient maps, you can look up ancient maps of Iceland, Greenland, Antarctica. Ancient maps, like really old school maps, show them in different positions. They show different places. You ever see those old maps where it has like, what is that island doing there? That doesn't exist.
What?
And they have this one map of Antarctica touching Brazil, or not Brazil, but South America, just touching. Like it and Chile are connected.
Whoa!
And these are old maps, and you can Google ancient map of, and the first one that you'll see will come up will be Antarctica, and you look it up and you'll see this shit. And it's like, why are these old maps? Why do they have these in them? So one of the known scientific things that happens to the Earth is, imagine the Earth like an orange, and the crust is like the peel of the orange. You can peel an entire orange. You ever done this where you peel an orange in one shot, and you're like, yeah, I fucking beat the orange, I won.
Yeah.
But now imagine the Earth's crust like that orange. And now, okay, there's some sort of crazy gravitational pull. There's a whole like shift of the poles. The poles just go, I'm gonna shift, motherfucker, bam, and everything under moves, but the top moves independently of the surface, like the crust.
Okay.
Of Earth just goes, boom, I'm moving. Okay, right now, if that happened, if the North Pole just suddenly shifted, the North Pole is all ice. Antarctica is actually a continent of, surface. There's a lot of ice too, but North Pole is pure ice, right? Mm-hmm. If that just shifted to a tropical climate, you would have an enormous amount of ice instantly melting. Mm-hmm. Now, who knows how it's shifting? But if it shifted to where there was a major continent, like the whole of the USSR covering the northern pole, there wouldn't be a lot of water freezing. It would be more water melting. So suddenly and almost instantly, you would have giant waves of water just inundating the coastline for miles. And just look at how recovery from a major earthquake or a tsunami can be. It takes years. We're talking about all around the world, in an instant, this like 100-foot tidal wave just destroys everything, and it doesn't come in and go out; it just comes in and stays.
Damn.
So a lot of major cities are coastal. Like most major cities are coastal.
And
I never thought about that.
That is crazy. That is crazy. This is definitely freak out zone time.
Oh yeah, but this is all. This could happen. It could happen like tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
it could be like boom, holy crap! But it's probably not going to happen. You're probably going to live your whole life and die and be fine. But this is historically things that have happened. So you've got the greatest society in the world, and all of a sudden, boom, you're shifted to an ice age.
And this whole time, I thought the Earth was less than 10,000 years old.
I know, right? Like I said, this is all.
And
like
that's the CrunchCast for this week, folks.
Pretty much. That is a good way to end it.
Yeah.
Even though I could talk foreverness.
Yeah. Well,
but just the last thing I wanted to say was, even though the greatest society in the world is in a second to be gone, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, that's like history's greatest tragedy.
Yes, it is. I know what you're talking about. Biblical talk. You see, what happened was Lot's wife, she turned around and she looked, and then she turned into a column of salt.
What a bitch.
But they couldn't even look back to see that she turned into a column of salt, because they would have, in turn, also turned into a column of salt.
Turned into other table condiments.
And that was some Old Testament hard-ass shit for you.
Yeah.
Just like salt, pepper, mustard, A1.
So if there's any advice we can give you, never look back.
And learn to draw.
It's actually pretty dope.
It's pretty dope.
I'm going to run the intro on that shit.
Never look back, or God will turn you into Dijon mustard.
Some sort of condiment, I'm sure.
Either way, you look that up, you look at the Baalbek, you look up the Machu Picchu, you look up everything, you can go crazy, Joe Rogan Experience.
Look up the Crunch.
Check out the CrunchCast at crunchstudios.com. YouTube channel, Dr. Squats and Milk. Check us out on Vimeo. Follow us on Twitter at Chris Holden Dev, at John Jones, at Brian_McConnell. Thank you for being a part of the CrunchCast.